So, hello, another English video. Because of some international guests I have who had questions. I talk now about the ESU LokProgrammer, so the software part. We had in the previous video, we had a simple configuration to digitalize your motor just with an ESU magnet. And we demonstrated here the decoder. This is here now plunged to the test environment. So this is the decoder. It comes in such a package. So this is a very simple one, a LokPilot 5. So it is not a sound decoder. 59691 with a 21 pin interface, and I showed you the interface in the previous video, which we use then to connect to the locomotive. And here we connect to the test environment. This test environment has all possible interfaces. So some decoders, for example, have plugs 22 interface, or some only have this 8-pin interface, for example, or this here is a 6-pin interface, or you can also very manual connect all the wires one by one. And it also has on the test environment here motor, and this test environment, I give you already the order number. Where is it here? 53,900, so it's between 40 and 50 euros, but I really recommend it because it's very well to test your decoder before you have put it into your locomotive. But still later, when you want to change, you still can change your programming when your decoder is in the locomotive, and you also can attach then your LokProgrammer directly to the railway. But it must be a separate railway from your main environment. Yeah, the ESU LokProgrammer also is a bigger package. This one is a package, the order number for the ESU LokProgrammer 53451. Yeah, this one's a bit more expensive. It's a bigger package, as we can see here. Let me make this smaller. Oh, it looks like this. So it's around 150 euros. Yeah, but that you really need, because all the ESU ESU decoders, they arrive empty. So this is then here the hardware for the LokProgrammer, all the cables and interfaces, how to connect, and power supply. This cable here is the power supply, is included, so you have everything included. And then you branch over USB. Here, you branch over USB cable to your PC. You can download the software from the ESU ESU Electronic Solutions web page, from the main web page. You go under products, and then you find under downloads. You find the LokProgrammer 5, which I have already installed here. So installation is very simple. The only question which you have to answer is if you allow the software to make changes to your system. You answer with yes, and you need to have administrator privileges on your own laptop. Yeah. So LokProgrammer is installed. We will open it. So here it comes. This we close. So what do we how do we want to start? I make this a bit smaller. Yeah, it's in German now, but I translate. Decoder, to read the decoder and change the decoder. Yes, this is what we want. We have now everything connected and we want to read the decoder for change. So this we click. So read the decoder data. That goes pretty quick. In this window we close, we don't need this. Okay, and then already the decoder is loaded. It goes super fast. The decoder is now in default configuration, so basically empty. What takes much longer is if you have a sound decoder to transfer the sound. But this we don't do today because the sound decoder is ESU Lock Sound 5, but this one is only ESU Lock Pilot 5. So without sound, very simple. So now we look what we need to change. We start here at the bottom. Special options, Sonderoptionen, special options. In here you decide which protocol you use. The LokProgrammer only works with DCC protocol. So I need to make this smaller. And the last one, M4, is the McLean MFX protocol. So I need to see now where my flash is. So here. So we don't need selected and we don't need Motorola. Yeah. So it's better, it works also if you let it go with all 4 protocols, but it's better to use only 2 because I realized when you have less protocols on your system and on your environment, it's better. It runs better. So I only have here 2. You need to leave DCC protocol because the LokProgrammer in the United States, they only work with DCC, but we use M4 because we use McLean, and McLean is MFX, and M4 is McLean protocol. So, and then we go to motor. So here you can choose the line. I take a linear line. But you can leave it on exponential. I just take a straight line, super simple. So now we need to go down. And now comes really the most important part, is to configure the right motor type. And this is here. Here you configure your motor type. So, and when you buy the exchange motor from a McLean, for example 6944, then it's a 5-pole motor. Then you click this here. But we said we keep the old motor, and our old motor was a large flat collector motor. It's this one with a magnet, with the ESU magnet 51960. So we click on this and then we click OK. So okay, and now we still need the functions, function output. So what do we need? We need, if you use PowerPack control, so if you have a buffer capacitor, you need to set aux9 to PowerPack control. So this is a bit tricky. When you have the ESU PowerPack, then you have 3 connections. You have a connection to U+, to ground, and a wire connection to aux9. When you have your own connection, For example, when you only take a simple buffer capacitor, or I usually take from CMO, then you only have two connections, to U plus, so the positive, and to ground, the negative. And you don't have a wired connection to aux9. Nevertheless, you need to be sure that aux9 is set to power pack control. Very often it is set here, you have here a list, it is set to a light. For example, here to dimmed light. So that is completely wrong. So this needs to be on power pack control. So, and then you give the whole thing a name. The name is, it doesn't matter which name you put. Okay. So, now also you have here light, front light and rear light. That is per default already configured. But very often you use aux1 and aux2, for example, for additional light. For example, if you want to have light in the ceiling or want to have light in the motor room, etc. So not only front light and rear light. So then, for example, you can choose here for aux9, aux1, and you need to be sure that this is on light. So you give this also a name, for example. The name doesn't matter, you can type anything you want. Okay. Yeah. And you can give, you see here aux1, 2, so you later on when you do it more complex, you can give one physical connection. You can give two different possibilities, but that today we don't want to do. We also can set, for example, now aux2, so a second connection. It's also on light, and we give it a name. It doesn't matter which name. So okay, so that is done, and now we need to put on driving characteristics. We need to set the time for our buffer capacitor. So we see here power pack, the time of the power pack, how long the power pack works, and we put this to 3 seconds. So like this. Okay. And then for a simple configuration we are already ready. So we can, so this is really the simplest configuration we do. Well, it's super simple. And now we can decoder Daten schreiben, means decoder data, rewrite the decoder data. So this is what we do now. Here. So not the POM programming, we overwrite the default values here. Write the decoder data. So we have to update, first we have to upgrade the firmware. We update the firmware. The update of the firmware takes longer than writing the decoder data. Now is writing of the decoder data. So here's terminate. Unfortunately, there's not a finish button. So if you don't get an error message, it is done. So now already we can test our configuration. So we go here in the driver's cap, and for example we can test now. We have to go on go, and we go for example on light, and we are now in forward drive. So light, forward drive, and we see here the first lamp is on. So and now we go backward, and then we see our rear light is on. Yeah. And this is also directly in the interface. The cables, they have all different colors. This is all in the manual of the decoder of the LokPilot 5, which cable or which connection then is which light. So and now we also want to test, for example, F1. F1 could be, for example, the light for the cabin. So F1 is in LokPilot 5 is our aux1. And this is here now on the test board the green light. Yeah, so it could be you have the red light, so rear light, so the locomotive is going backward, and you have, for example, aux1, you have configured aux1 configure light in the cabin. And then, for example, you can also use F2. So that means you have now the two green lights are aux1 and aux2. Aux2 could be, for example, the light in your motor. Yeah, so it's super simple. So always in LokPilot 5, it's super simple. Function 1 is aux1, function 2 is aux2, and so on. Yeah. Okay. So, and then you can also make a test drive. So, and now, perhaps you can hear it. I mean, in this motor we don't have any sound, but the motor is running. Yeah. I can guarantee, I see this, perhaps in the video you don't see it as well, but this is here the test motor, and the test motor is running, it works. Okay, so now we can stop everything. And we go here and stop. So, okay, then our programming is finished, and I must emphasize this is an introduction video. So the most simple configuration you can do. But now is everything ready, and you can put your motor and your decoder into the locomotive. But later on, when you decide to still change anything, when the decoder is on the locomotive, you can always program also your decoder on the railway in the locomotive, but not in the main area. It must be a separate track than here, which we put here, for example, on the table. and where you put the locomotive here on the table to test it instead here of the test board. Instead of the test board, you connect here these two wires with the railway. Don't mix up plus and minus. Okay. Yeah, I must say, when you start with the whole migration from analog to digital, you really need simple videos. And I never learned it from the professional videos from McLean or from other very professional channels. I learned it from other retired people, so who made it super simple. And this is also what I try to do here, to make it super simple, so that people of my age, approaching 70, can do it. Yeah. So, and when you pull the decoder off, first stop the current. Yeah, first pull here the power cable, so take this off, and then you can pull the decoder off and install it in the locomotive on the interface as I have shown in the other videos. Okay, thank you very much for today.